In a foreign land under the rule of the Persian Empire, a young Jewish woman rose from obscurity to become one of the most influential queens in history. Her name was Esther. Orphaned as a child, raised by her cousin Mordecai, she never imagined that her life would one day determine the survival of an entire people. But God often places the unlikely in positions of unimaginable purpose. When King Xerxes sought a new queen, Esther, known for her gentle spirit and extraordinary beauty, was taken into the royal palace. Though she lived among marble pillars and golden halls, she carried a secret identity. She was a daughter of Israel, a stranger in a foreign court, a woman chosen by circumstances she never asked for. Yet even here, God was preparing her. While Esther learned the ways of royalty, forces of darkness were rising. Haman, a high-ranking official consumed by pride, was enraged when Mordecai refused to bow before him. His anger became an obsession. He convinced the king to declare a horrifying decree that all Jews in the empire, men, women, and children, be annihilated on a single day. The news shook the Jewish community to its core. Fasted, wept, dressed in sackcloth, and Mordecai rushed to the gates of the palace, urging Esther to intervene. But Esther faced a death sentence if she approached the king uninvited. She felt the weight of two worlds on her shoulders, the crown she wore and the people she belonged to. She hesitated, overwhelmed by fear. How could she change a king's mind? How could a single woman stand against an empire? She felt small. She felt fragile. Then Mordecai spoke the words that echo through generations. Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. Something awakened inside Esther. Courage, identity, purpose. She understood that the palace was not her prize. It was her assignment. She gathered her resolve and declared boldly, "If I perish, I perish." But before acting, Esther turned to the weapon of the faithful, prayer and fasting. For 3 days she and her people cried out to God. And on the third day, Esther put on her royal robes, not as a symbol of pride, but as a declaration of mission. With trembling steps, she walked toward the throne room. The king saw her and lifted his golden scepter. Her life was spared, but Esther did not rush. She moved with wisdom. She invited the king and Haman to a banquet, and then another. She waited for the right moment, guided not by fear but by discernment. Finally, during the second feast, Esther rose and revealed her secret. "My people have been sold to destruction. We are to be killed. I am a Jew." The king was shocked. Haman was terrified, and Esther exposed his murderous plot right before the throne. In a dramatic reversal worthy of divine authorship, the very gallows Haman built for Mordecai became the instrument of his own downfall. Yet Esther's work was not finished. The decree of death still hung over her people. With boldness, she approached the king again, risking her life a second time. She pleaded for a new decree, one that would allow the Jews to defend themselves. The king granted her request. What was meant for destruction became a day of triumph. The people of Israel were saved, and Esther's courage still echoes thousands of years later. Her story teaches us that God can use anyone, no matter how hidden, how ordinary, or how unlikely, to change the course of history. It shows us that when fear whispers, purpose speaks louder, and it reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear, it is the decision to stand anyway. Esther was not a warrior with a sword, nor a prophet calling down fire, nor a king commanding armies. She was a young woman with a hidden past and a willing heart, and through her obedience an entire nation lived.